Well, howdy ho there, third and fourth graders. Here is some more pages of the one and only Bob. Drulius. I knew this guy back when I hung out at the mall with Ivan and Ruby. Nice dog named Drulius. Basic mutt, maybe some lab and golden in there somewhere. He'd done some hard time in a couple shelters. One of those dogs you knew had seen more than his share of bad stuff the world can throw your way. One ear bitten off, scars, a limp. Julius lived in his backyard, winter, spring, summer, fall, chained up mostly, flies in his food, empty water bowl way too often. Still, he always had a nice word to say when I passed him on my daily rounds, checking out the neighborhood trash cans. Once I saw his owner, again, that word, step on to the porch. Julius was barking, but he had a good reason. A stranger had just passed by. Barking is what we're supposed to do in that circumstance, right? Maybe he's the UPS guy. Maybe he's a serial killer. I mean, come on, we're not the FBI. So anyways, his owner came out with big guy, mean looking, gave Julius a hard kick with his boot, yelled, "Shut up, you fool," and then disappeared. Julius looked at me kind of embarrassed. We kept talking. A few minutes later, the owner came out again, put some towels on the line. Julius headed over, tail between his legs, cowering, saying, "I'm sorry, I love you, and I'm yours and yours," with his whole dog being. Guy completely ignored him, headed back inside. "He's having a tough time," said Julius when the guy was gone. "He's a jerk," I said, because subtly is not my strong point. "Nah, he loves me. He does. He has a funny way of showing it." "Humans," said Julius, licking a sore in his leg. "You know how they can be." "Do I ever?" "But we gotta stay true. We gotta love him. We gotta forgive him." I thought about that. I thought about it a lot. "Why, though?" I finally asked. "Why do we have to forgive them?" Julius looked shocked and then confused, as if I just asked why cheese tastes good. "It just does." "That's the way it is," he said. "That's what we do, Bob." I started to reply, but I managed to hold my tongue, which is not easy for me. It's a very long tongue with a mind of its own. There was no point making Julius feel worse than he already did. Later that morning, I found half a turkey sandwich and I gave the whole thing to him. Well, okay, I had a taste first, but still, forgiveness. Seems like forgiving humans is one of those doggy things we're supposed to do, like having zoomies or doing bed boogies. It's written into our canine soul. Well, somehow I didn't get that memo, the one that apparently went out to every other dog on the planet about forgiveness. Why should I forgive the humans who tossed me and my siblings out into the night? When you forgive, you lose your anger. And when you lose your anger, you get weak. And when you're weak, you can get hurt all over again. The art of human watching. By the time we reach the park, the sky is definitely in a bad mood. Gray clouds galloping like panicked horses, the nervous scent of rain on the way, the kind that makes you antsy in your own skin. When we got near the employee entrance, I hopped into Julie's backpack like always. We entered through a special gate where George shows his ID, checks in, and says hi to the staff. Pet dogs are not allowed at the park. Natch, foxes, wolves, jackals, my dog cousins, they are. But in my opinion, even though they're technically part of my extended family, they're nothing like dogs. Only dogs have perfected the art of human watching. The smartest thing we ever did was figure out how important the human gaze is. So often when we follow our owner's eyes, we're rewarded with something amazing. A smelly sock, a glazed donut. A glazed donut that's fallen on a smelly sock. We follow every blink, every sidelong glance. We see it, whatever it is, before the humans do. We understand before they do. And if there's a glazed donut involved, we eat it before they do. Puppy eyes. It's mid-morning, still pretty early. There aren't many visitors around yet. "We've got a meeting in 20, Georgette tells a couple of workers, Hank and Sonia, who groan. Just a quick one. Going over contingency plans one last time in case there's any flooding. During the last hurricane, a small part of the park flooded, mostly near the Reptileville. George helped move cages. He'd come home smelling like a cottonmouth and copperheads. It was all I could do not to barf. Weather Service just issued a tornado watch, Hank says. I thought we were having a hurricane, Julia said. We are, Gus, but sometimes tornadoes are spawned during hurricanes, George explains. Julia frowns, but a watch means maybe, not for sure, right? Yeah, but I want you to head home, George says, just in case. Please, Dad, just 10 more minutes, Julia says. She's using that special voice she reserves for moments when she really, really wants something from her parents. I guess kids manipulate their moms and dads the same way dogs manipulate humans. I don't know, George begins. I promised Bob. I figured that was my cue to pop my head out and look adorable, so I do. Hey, Bob, says Hank. Sonia reaches over and scratches my ears. I'm pretty popular around the park. I give George my best puppy eyes, and he caves. 10 minutes tops, he says, and meet me back here. Puppy eyes. Ha, works every time. Mr. Oog. Here's how I figured puppy eyes got their start. Cave humans were sitting around a fire wearing mammoth fur and grunting about how there was nothing on TV because TV hadn't been invented yet, and some wily wolf thought, whoa, they got leftover mammoth meat. And he probably whimpered and cowered and did a tummy display and looked pathetic enough that Mr. Oog finally tossed him a bone. And soon enough, a zillion years later, voila, man's best friend. After all that time, there's a thing, like a magnetic attraction between dogs and humans. We've studied them for so long we can read every twitch and sigh. Suppose it's easier than chasing down mammoths. And I get it. I do. The behind the ear scratch, the food in the fancy bowl, the bed by the fireplace. Gotta admit, Julia's pretty fun to hang out with. And I am grateful, really I am, that her family took me in. But still, I don't need them. You need someone eventually. They let you down, and you end up feeling like a real doofus. All right, third and fourth graders, here's your question. Bob's friend, Mr. Drulius, has a very interesting view of human. Even though his human is really mean to him and kicks him and doesn't pay any attention, he still forgives him every time. What do you think about that? Is that okay? Is that a dog's job to be always forgiving? What are your thoughts? Bye.